about doing your outside shows. I want to talk about how to store your art between shows and the likes of all that. Now, the first thing I do want to bring up, and I know we've talked about this, I don't talk about it every single time we go live or do an art project because I feel like it's redundant, but I do want to remind people, anybody new who's just getting started, about the issue that happens between white paint, which is titanium white, any white paint, 99.99999% of your white craft paints are titanium white. And thank you, Marcia. And titanium and resin do not like each other. They do not play well together. And so I did want to remind you that, and I don't know if you've noticed or not, but I haven't been doing a lot of pure white backgrounds lately because, let me tell you why. Because I'm lazy and I don't want to have to take my art outside and spray it, right? So we're going to talk about storing your projects. Amy, sorry, I can't read. But and I know I'm like going off on a tangent, but I want to talk about this first. Thank you, Cypress Moon Art. I've been trying lately not to do a lot of pure white backgrounds, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't or that you can't. So I want to really quick just talk to you about white backgrounds because I'm going to tell you this. In the beginning, that's pretty much all I did. I loved the colors, the bold, bright colors of the glass on a white background really make the glass pop, okay? But you can still use your whites in your backgrounds. You just need to take some precautions, and I'm gonna go over that really quick, and then painting in a closet, that's funny. Then you're going to, I don't even know where I was going. I have to stop looking at the comments real quick because I'll lose my train of thought because my ADD is on point today. It is all over the place. So I will answer your questions, but I need to get all this out first or we're gonna be here 6 days. All right, so you can still use the titanium white. Let me tell you what you need to do. If you're doing a background and you're using, I don't know if you can see this, but if you're using, this has got just a wash of whites. But let's say, for example, you're doing an art piece, okay? And you've painted your cute fishy, your background is mostly white. This is actually a wash of white over paper, the scrapbook paper. But anytime you have a lot of white in your background, how to combat that argument that resin and titanium white have is to take a non-yellowing sealer, just those rattle cans, just a spray can of sealer, clear sealer, and I try to use like, you don't want to use, my brain is off the chart. You don't want to use a high gloss, but you also don't want to use a flat. Just get like a satin, clear, non-yellowing sealer and just give your artwork a little bit of a mist of sealer to seal that titanium white before you do your glass and resin. That's going to keep the white titanium from reacting with your resin, okay? Because they do not like each other. They want to fight and bicker, and then it's going to cause a problem in your work. It's going to increase the possibility that it's going to turn a little yellow. We call it ambering. So it will eliminate or help that problem. All right? Any brand works. The thing to look for is that it is a clear sealer. It is satin, or you can use flat too. I would not use gloss. I'll tell you why in a second. But you want to use any non-yellowing spray sealer. And you're just going to do a light coat, all right? You don't want to saturate it and have it floating in sealer because that is going to cause a different problem. Let's talk about that. If you over seal, okay? If you over seal and you put 3 coats and it's just almost so shiny that it looks like it already has resin on it, then what happens is your resin is going to sis, okay? You're gonna have those little pinholes because the resin needs something to grab a hold to. And if your surface is already slick from too much sealer, then your resin doesn't have anything to grab a hold of, all right? You gotta have that scratch, all right? So don't overdo it, just a little clear coat, non-yellowing sealer. I like to just barely mist, let it dry for however long it says on your can, and then just mist again, right? And then you're ready for glass and resin. Any brand, the key is non-yellowing. Any brand works, all right? So that is your first order of business if you're using a nice white background, all right? I don't know if you've noticed that I have been, look, we have blue, we have black, we have blue, we have dark green. I've been trying to avoid stark white backgrounds. And honest to goodness, mostly it's just because I don't want to go out and have to seal them, okay? It's just laziness. Just lazy, that's me. Tired, I don't have time. So, if you're using white, make sure you're sealing your artwork before you add your glass and resin. Now, that's the first order of business, okay? Let's talk real quick. I made myself some notes because I'm crazy. Let's talk real quick about temperature because it's hot, right? And people are creating art and storing it for future art shows or craft shows or whatever. So let's talk real quick about how to do that, what to do, what not to do, okay? Now, art resin, I recommend highly. I think most of y'all already know that. Most of you guys already know I use exclusively art resin, okay? It has a UV stabilizer in it, but that doesn't mean you can abuse that, okay? It is the highest quality a resin for art that you can buy. It's also made in the United States, which makes me super happy, but it does have the UV stabilizers in it. But I want to tell you this right now, no matter what, if you don't care for your artworks in the proper way, they are going to amber, okay? So we have to take some precautions, and let's talk about those now. All right, exposing your resin artwork to direct sunlight, direct UV rays is not recommended. Now, let me back up for 1 second and tell you this. If you're doing an outdoor craft show or art show, you're fine. You can put your art out, and we're talking about storing it, like hanging a piece of resin art on your front door that has constant direct sunlight, okay? That's a no-no. You don't want to hang resin outside where it gets full sun forever, okay? If you have a piece of art on your front door and it's covered and it doesn't get direct sunlight, you should be okay. I wouldn't leave it out there for 6 months. It's probably going to start to amber, but you're okay for a couple of months during the season, like if it's Valentine's Day or Easter and you're going to have it out for a month, perfectly fine. I'm not talking about short-term art shows being outside and the sun touching it, or short-term hanging on your door. I'm talking about long-term direct sunlight. Even though we have UV stabilization in our art resin, it is not recommended to expose your artwork to UV rays, all right? So, how to store your artwork if you're stacking up and working on art for seasons or for shows is you want to keep your artwork. Here's how I do mine, okay? It's just easier for me to explain. I have these plastic bins that are they're like the under bed ones, but they're deeper. They're probably 24 inches deep and big. And I store them like this, not like this, because the more you stack on top, you're gonna create a lot of weight. So I like to store mine upright so nothing gets smushed. And also it helps with ventilation, okay? So you want to store your art if you're doing shows, or even if you are like putting out your seasonal stuff and then you have to put it away after Christmas or whatever. You want to store these art pieces in a cool, dry space that is temperature controlled. It's getting hot, y'all. So thank you. Steve likes it when I wear this shirt. I am not a Deadhead. I'm not a Grateful Dead person or a fan, but he likes buying me Dead stuff. Okay? Grateful Dead stuff. So anyway, so you want to store your artworks, whether it's just for the season or if you're storing and saving up for an event or a craft show. Store your things upright. Keep space between your art pieces, and you want to wrap them in something breathable, okay? You can use tissue paper, you can use craft type paper like that comes on a roll, but you want it to be breathable so that air can circulate around your artwork, all right? You want to avoid attics, garages, any space that does not have temperature control. You don't want, thank you, you don't want to store your art where temperature is gonna fluctuate big time, okay? Maybe it's 50 degrees at night and then it's 90 degrees during the day. That is going to ruin your beautiful, hard-working art, okay? You worked hard to create that. We don't want to ruin that, right? We don't want to ruin it, okay? One of the other things I would encourage you to do is not store your art where there might be like extreme moisture or humidity, because this is wood, this is canvas, that is breathing, okay? I don't know if you know this, but wood breathes, and it will contract and expand when it is exposed to moisture. That will make the canvas and the wood contract and expand, and it could warp your art pieces. So avoid extreme humidity or areas with a lot of moisture, okay? Cover, don't seal. If you are storing your pieces for the season or for an upcoming show, do not bubble wrap those, okay? You can bubble wrap them like when you're getting ready to like take your things. If you're putting them in the car and you're traveling 2 hours to an art show, I would like layer them with bubble wrap, but I would not wrap them tight for storage with bubble wrap because they need that air, okay? And I know this sounds like a lot of trouble and a lot of work, but it's really not, I promise. I haven't done a show since I moved back home. Actually, I did one right when I moved back home, but then the COVID hit, and I haven't done an actual art show since 2020, but I've done hundreds and hundreds of art shows, and getting prepared for an art show, it's not really, it seems like I'm like making it sound like it's a lot of work, but it's really not. If you store your things wrapped in tissue paper, or for whatever reason, the type of paper that I was using between my art has escaped my head. It's a particular type of paper that is meant for art, and it has just escaped my brain, and I'll probably think of it 2 seconds after we get off this live. All right, so cover, don't seal, Don't wrap it up in bubble wrap and tape it. If you're mailing it, if you're shipping it to a customer, yes, you want to protect it. But for storage for weeks and weeks or months, do not don't seal them up in bubble wrap, okay? Just some tissue paper, glassine. Thank you, June. Glassine, yes. Glassine is really great for artwork because it doesn't like stick to your art and it's porous and breathable. Okay, so let's see. Thank you guys. Y'all are the other half of my brain. Yes, non-acid newsprint is great. Thanks, Julie, for bringing that up. Tissue paper. Normally, what I would do is unless you're storing your art outside in Florida or Houston where it's humid, because let me just tell you this, I live in Mississippi. It's humid here too. There are days when you can walk outside and feel like you're trying to breathe in water. That's how humid it gets here. So, but you're not storing your artwork outside where it's humid, okay? You're storing it in your home where you have temperature control and air conditioning, right? You got air conditioning, right? Glassine, yes. Thank you, guys. So I'm going to review and I'm going to post. I'm going to create a post later this afternoon. I didn't have quite enough time to do it before we did this. It's been a crazy day before I went live, but I'm going to post. I have a worksheet, an information sheet that I'm going to make available to you guys, and I will post a little bit later so that if you want one, you can just post on that post and let me know and I'll email you. It's just a little information sheet about temperature, storing temperatures, stabilizing temperatures during cure time, not exposing your art to direct UV rays, that kind of stuff, okay? Just a few little tips for people who are, like I said, either storing your art for the season, if it's your personal art and you just want to put it away, like your Christmas stuff, or if you're making and storing for craft shows, all right? So what I've done in the past when I was doing a lot of shows is I would literally leave my stuff out. Like if I was doing 40 Christmas trees, I would have them lined up against the wall and just upright, stacked. Or you can put them in a plastic bin. I wish I had one to show you, but all our bins are full of glass. So store it upright, store the next one. You can wrap a little bit of either glassine or tissue paper around it. When you start to pack up to go to your show and you're driving, you don't want it bumping around. That's when you can just stick a sheet of bubble wrap between everything, or you can even just stuff like wadded up tissue paper or craft paper in between it so it doesn't bump and scar up the next art piece next to it. All right, so I think I'd made myself some notes and I think I've covered everything that was in my notes. But if you guys have questions, I would love to answer any questions you have. And then later on this afternoon, I will make a post and get you any little bit of that little PDF document that I created. Okay, Robin, glassine is just a type of paper that it is pretty much made for wrapping art. Okay, it doesn't have any wax on it, and it doesn't have anything in it that allows it to stick to artworks, oils, acrylics, or resin, it just is a really nice paper to wrap your art in. Literally, you can just use tissue paper, right? You can get it on Amazon. You can get it in pre-cut sheets or on rolls. But I'm a tissue paper kind of girl. I'm cheap, okay? I will use tissue paper all day long. Now, packing things to ship is a whole nother live, and we can do that next week if you want to, or somewhere down the road, and we can talk in great detail about how to pack to ship your arts. But today we're going to focus on just storing, because it's getting hot, doll. And if you're putting all your artwork in the garage or in the attic, you are going to have your feelings hurt so bad in October when that show comes up and you open up your bins and everything has ambered, okay, from the heat, just from the temperature variance. You're going to be so sad. As long as it's cured, Amy, it takes 72 hours to fully cure. Art resin does. I don't know about others because I don't use them. Art resin takes 72 hours to fully cure. As long as you don't put the tissue paper on it or wrap it loosely with tissue paper before 72 hours is up, you're fine. I use it all the time, right? So anybody have questions? I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm going to scroll back just a little and see if you asked it 5 minutes ago and you want to pop it in again. Okay, don't close your container, Jeannie. Don't close your container. All right, it needs to breathe. And if you're putting 15 pieces of art in a plastic container and you're putting a top on it, there's no air circulation, okay? It needs to be able to breathe and air out and stay temperature stabilized. And if you have the lid on that bin, it can't do any of those things. So don't put the tops on it, all right? Let's see. Parchment paper is okay, yes. Make sure your, Helen, make sure your pieces are cured before you wrap them in parchment paper. If I'm taking art on a plane, will it hurt to be packaged? No, it depends on the size, Pat. If it was a bigger piece, I would probably wrap it and then make a little handle for yourself out of tape. And carry it on. If it's a smaller piece, just wrap it up real nice, wrap your clothes around it maybe, and you should be fine. I've packed art in my suitcase dozens of times, dozens and dozens. Okay, let's see. You're welcome. Seal before adding resin. Only on, go back and watch the beginning, Lori, because we talked about how art resin, or any resin really, and titanium white do not like each other. So if you're using a white background or a lot of white in your art, you need to seal that with a non-yellowing spray sealer before you add your glass and resin to keep that from ambering really fast, all right? If you're like me and you started using a lot of darker backgrounds, you should be fine. All right. Please plan for that info next slide. Absolutely. We'll talk next week. I'm out of town. Stephanie, if you need information before next week, let me know. Just send me an email and I'd love to answer your question. But I'm going to be at a mastermind event next week, so it'll be the week after before I'm able to talk about that. Let's see. Let's see. Any more questions? Yeah, just take those lids off, Jean, and you should be fine. Okay? It just needs some air circulation. Is it time for you to go? The girls are abandoning me. They've been here longer than me, so I can't complain, right? So, any more questions? I am, like I said a minute ago, I am going to post just after this. I need time to set it up, but I'm going to put a post up that says if you want like the written PDF document for the information that I've given you today, you'll just comment a keyword and then we'll send you a DM. So make sure you check that. And so any more questions? Was this helpful to you guys at all? Was this helpful? I hope so. There have been some comments. Becky, if you are here, or Catherine, can you share this over into our membership group so this would be there as well? Donna said blocky resin question. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Donna. So, I'm so glad this was helpful. I'm seeing some thumbs up and hearts. I'm so glad this is helpful. I am going to be doing more little quickie lives like this over the rest of this year. Just some helpful tips and things that maybe we don't talk about every time we do a art piece live on the Art Shattered page or in the Shattered Circle, because it's like, if I had to say all of this stuff every time, we would be live forever. So I'm going to be doing some of these reminder lives, talking about techniques or how to store or how to pack or how to ship or how to put hangers on the back, that kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that information. Let's see. Do I sand and re-resin or just resin over it? If it's been more, I'm going to say this because I have resined after, I've put resin on or re-resin our piece after 24 hours. So I'm going to, successfully, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say, as long as it's not fully cured, just resin over it, okay? If it's been the 72 hours and your art is fully cured, you are going to want to scuff the surface of your art piece before you resin it again. Huh? What do you need my purse for?
I want you going back there.
Oh. They stealing my purse. Okay, let's see. Oh yes, I do. So if you're a member of the Shattered Circle, there are lots, excuse me, there are lots of tutorials in the learning tools in your classroom on how to pack your art to ship, how to add the hangers, all this kind of stuff. So make sure you check that out. All right. I'm not understanding some of these comments, so if I miss your comment because I don't understand it, just ask me again. Love all the tips. I'm so glad. I missed the painting lives. We're still doing painting lives, just not every day. Okay? We're still doing them. And it's a crazy time right now because I've been traveling a good bit and then I was sick. And this week our internet was down. And these are also just as important as creating the art pieces. Oh, thank you. You're so good to me. What is that for the?
Yeah, cone.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. Tutorials on brushes. I think I don't know if there, Barb, is a tutorial on brushes. There is one on palette knives, but that is on my list. Describing each brush and how to use it. That is on my list of to-dos. Thank you, dear. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
Do not spot resin, Cynthia. Let me tell you what happens if you spot resin. If you have an art piece and you've done the whole thing, and then you have a little skippy right here, and then you try to put one little dot of resin, it's going to stand out even more than it did before you put more resin on it. If you need to re-resin, do the whole thing, okay? If it is a big hunk of glass, and all this is bare and you have one little spot, just put resin on the flat surface. If you don't need to re-resin where all the glass is, you can avoid that. But if you just put one little spot of resin on a little divot, it is going to look worse. Do the whole thing. All right? Does that help you, Cynthia?